24/7 coverage of MXC. That was a weird and hours-long journey, which apparently you can participate in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Um, wow. Thank you, Boat Guy, for that one. But we are here with the return, the long-awaited return of the Pinballers. I'd like to welcome to the show Brennan, Amber, and David. How are you guys doing?
What's up?
Doing
Doing
good,
well.
except I'm still seeing MXC on the video.
Are you
I
really
uh
now?
I let me see.
Well, we're definitely
No,
broadcasting.
no, I see it now. I had to close the page and reopen it for whatever that's
Uh,
worth, David. But I do see that now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm doing well. You know,
We're good.
no real updates to share, as I imagine is the case with a lot of people, but it is what it is.
Do you
have
guys?
have
Oh,
have you set a date yet?
No.
Have not. I don't even know where to start on that. I'm gonna let her do
Do
that,
you
and
do
she'll get
you
back to me.
have a
No.
goal? Have a general time frame?
Like, whenever COVID's over, that's when we'll do that.
Okay.
oh,
Hopefully not super corona
yeah.
wedding would be nice, but we'll see the cards that were dealt in terms of all that, because who knows how long this thing is gonna last. I don't know.
We've
Uh,
started watching from start to finish The Office, and it starts off with Pam and her years long engagement. So don't be like Pam.
Yeah, we won't. I mean, it's we'll take care of business, but I'm still
It's
settling
not,
in a little bit.
yeah, it's not I mean, it'll get done when it gets done.
Mhm.
I'm kind of lax on that, but it'll happen.
So, it's the pinballers. Have you guys been playing any pinball?
You
Just
know,
Because it's been
yeah,
like
Iron.
what 3, 4 weeks since we did
3 or
this.
4 weeks. We had a pretty good break.
Hmm.
Not really. We went to Richardson probably 2 weeks ago and
Hmm.
played a lot of Stranger Things, Little Jurassic Park, TNA, etc. But other than that, I've kind of taken a bit of a break. I haven't really played our game very much. We went to Don's. We drove up to Denton last week, I guess, and played a little bit there. And he has a new Jurassic Park in that we played a good amount and all that. So that was nice. But really, I haven't been doing too much pinball wise.
Wait a minute. Okay, so if you played 2 weeks ago and then you played again last week at Dawn's, how much do you play in normal times?
Well, I mean, like when we have a machine in our house,
Hmm.
it's like it's weird because people rightfully, I guess, would assume that you're just kind of like playing like all the time. But like anything else, you, at least in my experience, kind of have phases or times when you're more into it than others. And recently, I've just been kind of chilling and playing video games, and all the sports are back up and running for the most part. So
That's true. You
doing a
do have
lot
a
of
Dallas
that.
Stars jersey on or shirt on in your
We
picture,
do,
so
yeah. So we had that going, and then we got football tonight and all this. So it's actually obviously we're still very much in a weird limbo here, but there's at least some sense of normalcy returning, and so yeah, it hasn't been super pinball heavy for me.
Amber, I assume the same because you're in the same house.
Um, well, I went by myself to play Stranger Things because I hadn't played it.
Hmm.
I would say that was probably that was a while ago. And I went by myself, and then yeah, like 2 weekends ago, I was like, hey, let's go to free play, and then we played Stranger Things, and I think it might be my new favorite game. I really like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
What
Okay.
I
what uh
really like it.
what do you like about it? Just please expand.
Everything.
That would
I
not be an expansion. There's
right.
no wrong
I don't
answer. I
know.
promise
It's
that.
just it's a really it's like fast, but not kind of fast, and I like hitting the Demogorgon and figuring out I mean, I still don't know what every single mode does. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just exploring a new game is kind of fun for me. Like, as to, what modes do what, and I don't know. It's just different. It's just different than Iron Man that
Yeah,
we have.
yeah, because you own
So,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
that table is still on fire at free play. It's easily the most played. Like I we had the what's it the with the magnetization. They gotta like clean the flipper so it doesn't stick
Uh-huh.
on it just yesterday, right? And I went to
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, I went to Tom, it was a routine repair. I went to Tommy to tell him that that was an issue, and I forgot the name of it for some reason. I just blanked, and I was like, the pinball, the only one that gets played. Like it's constantly getting played, and it's constantly getting played by super regulars who are there all the time. Who you would think it would get burnt out on it, but they don't. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge for sure. I don't know. I just really like it. It's fun.
It's in that primo right by the door spot too.
Yeah.
but that's where so many get defeat, like completely lost. Like that may be right by the door, but that's also like the most apt to be lost. Um,
I kind of agree on that point actually. I said that and then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Most of the games I've played regularly at free play, not that I haven't played them all obviously, but most of the games pinball wise that I play regularly, typically in the back,
mhm.
I haven't besides TNA, which has been up in the front for as long as I can recall at Richardson, I don't usually spend too much time towards the front. You're kind of
Right,
sectioned
because
off a little bit.
we don't play those stupid fighting games.
Mhm.
Oh wait.
Yeah, well, I do occasionally. It just usually doesn't last very long.
Yeah, the type of game that I don't play much at free play are the rhythm games. I won't say I never play the rhythm games. I played like DDR last weekend, and that's about it. And usually someone has to twist my arm to make me play a rhythm game just because it's a single player experience mostly. I would guess that's why, because I can't have this relation with my friends while I'm playing a rhythm game. It's very very intense and single player, and it's just not my style. There's
Yeah.
also DDR not made for someone my age, by the way. Shocking revelation.
Yeah,
How?
you might have to pay me to do that.
I mean, I
How
guess I
much
was
do
getting
we have
paid.
to-
I guess technically you were.
Uh,
So
Technically, yeah.
Hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, David, how about you? Pinballing?
I'm trying to make a weekly trip to free play. I went a couple weeks ago. I took the wife out and we went to Fort Worth.
Hmm.
She enjoyed it. It was tolerable for her. Um, she's not as a diehard pinball player as Amber is. She hasn't played our machines in months.
Hmm.
Then I went out to Arlington last weekend, and I was in for a shock because I had on my list the two games that I wanted to try to get a GC on were Medieval Madness and Metallica, and Metallica was gone from Arlington.
I believe they're both in Fort Worth, if I'm not mistaken.
But Medieval Madness is still in Arlington.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I've been trying to get the King of Pain on that machine for like that's like a goal. I want to get it on that. And I had him lit, but I didn't get enough knockdowns to get the King of Pain. And then
Yeah.
the other quest that I'm after, and this is one that I think we need to really try and push to see if someone can roll firepower.
Hmm.
Someone can
seems
get
doable.
that 99999 on that. I've gotten 600 or whatever, 6 million, whatever that score is, but
Hmm.
someone needs to roll that sucker. So
I was only
To look into
motivated
the
by your
rules.
monthly, so once that was done, like my motivation to play that amongst all the other tables just went to zero. Even though it's a good table, I like it. Sorry,
Alright.
you were saying, Brandon?
No, I just seems doable.
Mhm.
There's a few, and that's part of why I tend to prefer newer tables, aside from me being newish into the hobby and also being on the younger end of things. But also because a lot of those games seem to have just the scoring isn't always super balanced, and just due to the limitations of the software and the coding and everything, it's you get goofy stuff like rolling games, which we had the Comet. That was the first game that my dad ever bought that kind of got me into things, and we rolled that thing kind of all the time.
Mhm.
And it at a certain point it sort of defeats the purpose of playing it. So, but in any case, yeah, it'd be nice to roll firepower.
Amber, you play that one?
Oh, I was going to continue. The other
Oh, sorry.
thing is I got my mods and I modded up Metallica. I added the color DMD. I added side blades. I added that snake decal and the tongue on the snake. So that was a fun experience. I was having problems with the DMD, but I finally figured it out. So it was kind of good. The only other thing I need is there's a plate that you put over the score board or whatever. That's the creeping death mode, and it's they're out of that one. It's out of stock, but I want the full creeping death graphics on it.
When you say tongue over the snake, what do you mean?
So usually when you look at the snake mouth,
Mm-hmm.
it's a plate of just a metal plate,
Yeah,
and
it's
there's a
capture.
sticker. There's a sticker that you put on top of that, so it looks like the snake has a tongue.
Okay.
It's like a $2 sticker you buy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's great about these mods is people have these side little businesses they make for a snake decal that goes up a ramp or snake tongue.
That's cool.
The nerd life of
Metallica
pinball.
Oh.
feels like such a favorite in the free play group. It just seems like everybody, whether they're like a seasoned pinball player or kind of newish to it, or just sort of do it whenever we have a tournament or whatever, Metallica is always coming up. I I mean, I personally don't get it. I certainly like the game. I have no problem. Like, it's just not a game that I'd ever like seek out to own. It's something that I'll play if it's on location. But it is so popular. It feels like just among the group that we have at Free Play,
I
it
like Metallica.
befuddles me a little bit.
I initially I
It's
was
hard.
driven insane because I didn't understand the rule sets. Now I just don't care. I just play, just bat the ball around and just don't care where it goes. But it is an open table. I'm trying to think about why that would be so popular compared to other games, other than just the IP. It does have like a very like standard set of ramps and everything, like the center thing, the center toy, of course. Every shot feels like doable and not tricked up and weird.
There's nothing crazy about it.
Right, but I'm saying that to its benefit too.
Yeah, no,
Like we
it
just talked about
definitely
Stranger Things, and Stranger
could
Things is
be.
100% or 98% a ripoff of Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars, and that makes it great. Like those are two of the
Yeah.
best tables ever. So it does have a very like close to that sort of ramp setup. So there's nothing to get in the way. Because I think of like Deadpool, a game that I do want to like more than I do, but like the katana shot just crushes that poor game.
See, I like Deadpool more than Metallica.
I do on paper, but then I actually play it and it just doesn't work the way it
One of the
works,
things
and I can't get there.
the Sparky being a relatively easy multi-ball to get,
Hmm.
and the graphics that happen when it stops and sparks fly, that's a very appealing easy multi-ball.
Hmm.
I think that's a benefit to the game
Probably.
versus like you mentioned Deadpool. Okay, what's a quick easy way to get a multi-ball on Deadpool besides that first mini multi-ball?
Yeah.
That's it. That being said, that's one of the easiest multi-balls to get, in my opinion, in like the history of pinball.
Yeah.
It is almost like a given on every game,
You're
which
talking
is
about the little Deadpool one?
yeah,
Yeah.
which again, it just talking about pinball, it's almost you're always speaking to the level of experience that the player has. It's either a detriment or a benefit. It's a benefit to the casual player that just is browsing around the arcade, decides to fire up Deadpool and like, oh, holy crap, I just started a multi-ball and I don't know how I
Don't
did
know
it, but
how
that's
I did that.
awesome. Or the person who plays a lot of pinball and is like, oh crap, like I just started mini Deadpool multi-ball like 5 seconds into my ball and I have nothing else going and now I have to kind of stop down and play this for a while and so I mean it kind of depends, but I don't know. There's nothing wrong with Metallica. There's definitely
Well,
something to be said for that Sparky.
yeah, that's a part of like the scaling difficulty too, because you can hit that multi-ball. That's a very obvious multi-ball to get, but also we've heard from David and Austin loving that table where it's got complexity down the road. It's got a lot down the road to try and shoot for, whether it's the end of line or is it the end of line? I'm sorry, I'm getting my pinball
Yeah,
tables
end of the
confused.
line.
Okay, there you go. So like you've got a deep rule set, but then you've got something for the noobs to be obvious and pound away at. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand why people like it so much, but it's not because it sets the world on fire, but more because it just does pinball stuff well with a good IP. Shocking. It's a Stern.
I I think that the one thing that I've started to notice, especially after spending some more time with Don's collection last week, is that I think that as much as I try to be sort of a pinball purist in the sense that I try to, or I think that I like games or dislike games purely for their pinball merit in terms of difficulty and scoring and balance and flow and speed and how fun the shots are to hit, blah blah blah. I think that I subconsciously or maybe now consciously since I'm saying it put a lot more weight into the IP and the design and the playfield graphics and all that than I think I do. Like if you swapped the Deadpool theme with the Metallica theme,
Hmm.
I think I would probably be like, oh, I love Metallica's layout, and I love the Deadpool theme and everything. And then I probably wouldn't give a crap about the katana shot or whatever if it was somehow Metallica theme, just because I couldn't care less about Metallica, and I frankly couldn't care less about Deadpool either. I just think the sort of kitschy comic book look and the goofy, cartoon thing is more appealing personally. So I don't
Hmm.
know.
You're maturing as a pinball player.
I guess so. I wish that wasn't the case. I wish it was purely on the merits of the game, but for some reason, I like the cartoony, comic book games. And that's, by the way, another game that I believe was sold, but I hope makes a glorious return someday when free play is back and rocking and rolling and dominating. I Batman, I got to play that at Don's too, and I love that game so much. Batman 66.
66.
Batman 66 is awesome. I
Such a
love that
cool
game
game,
so
and
much.
and I barely understand it because the rule set is just about as deep as it gets. But every time I play it, I have a ton of fun just because the call outs and the the little TV and it's just so like colorful and bright. I don't know.
My friend Mitch had posted like a screenshot of him of where he had played Batman 66 and got like an insane score of like a billion point score, and you had people replying like, how did you get this, what's going on, and you were top pinball players that were replying on this thread, and going into the details of, oh, I stacked this with Mr. Freeze with Penguin and blah blah blah, and that gets you super quadruple bonus or whatever. And it's like, I have no idea. I don't know the game, but that's the level of depth that exists in that Batman
Yeah,
6.
yeah, the rule set's insane. I mean, Don was kind of explaining it to us. Oh, you do this, you do this, you've got to stack this, you've got to stack that. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And again, it's like it's either I guess just depending on who you are, it's either a detriment or a benefit. And to me, that I'm not there's a balance. I don't want my games to be so simple that like Getaway, I hit wizard mode and beat Redline Mania on the first day they got it, and I was like, that was awesome, and I don't really want to do that again. Like, it took 2 seconds, and it was like, all right, crap. Like, I just sort of reached the top of the mountain on day one, you know. Whereas
Yeah,
you'd hope
yeah,
for a
yeah,
good
yeah.
game to take a few tries or a little while for you to get used to it before you're able to do that. And then on the other hand, you have Batman, to where I could sit down and play, 20 games with Don narrating, telling me exactly what to do, he knows the rules backwards and forwards, and I still would probably so lost. I had no idea basically what he was telling me to do. None of it really made sense. It felt like I was playing against the interest of fun, and I was basically just mashing this thing over and over again to like stack up like a multiplier, and then trying to cash it in on this one shot, but you only had like 5 seconds to hit it, and then if you do that, then you got to scrap everything and start over and go. And it's like at that point, it becomes almost like a chore. Like I get that there's always going to be an ideal sort of strategy in every game, but at some point, I want to be able to play a game and sort of understand what I'm doing. But that game is so about stacking things and
Yeah, I
time
hate those
modes.
types of games in competitive pinball. Whether it's Star Wars, knowing like who to start out with and what to shoot for. Deadpool can be that way. Batman's definitely that way. Where if you own the game and you play it long enough and you watch
Then
hours and
you
hours of
know.
videos on
Yeah.
YouTube, you're gonna be able to do better than most of the other people
Yeah, and I
without
mean that's
it,
yeah,
it,
obviously that's
Right.
without
true.
being a better pinball player. Even.
Right, and so that's sort of my point, I guess, summed up a lot better, is that everybody could do that with any game. Watch hours and hours of footage and own it, and then you'd be like, of course you're gonna be better. But at a certain point, pinball, the part that frankly I think keeps it interesting is that anybody can walk up, flip around, keep the ball in play, and they have a chance to do something awesome and, you know, time something just the right way, hit a shot at just the right time, and have a great score. But on those games, it's almost like unless you know the rule set backwards and forwards, unless you've practiced it a million times, that's so unlikely to happen that it sort of kills a little bit of the randomness that makes pinball fun. So
Uh,
that being said, I love the
Best
game.
example, the best example I could come up with is you and I can have the same game in Star Wars, but because I hit that button before the video mode, I got 300 million on my asteroid video mode, and you got 30 million, and I beat you.
Yeah, and
mhm.
it's like you have no idea why or anything. It's not obvious. That video mode sucks anyway, but yeah, it's like that's not
Yeah.
particularly fun.
Yeah.
That table's the king of obtuse. I still don't
That
understand the
table's
red and green shots. I don't care enough. I never will care in my life enough to commit it to memory.
I
Um,
love that table's role as a heel on every Pinball Monday/Sunday. That
I
that
pick
that
it. I
table
actively pick it.
inevitably. I actively pick it
Yeah,
too, just for different reasons. I feel like.
yeah. Yeah, I pick it to be the heel. I pick it to drive my competitors insane so that I can win for free when they're just smashing the table around. Although sometimes that comes back when somebody smashes the table so much that it hurts the table. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Inevitably, you have somebody in a group of four that gets the infamous plunge, drain,
Hmm.
ball save, plunge, drain, ball over.
Hmm.
Never fails. Still
Yeah,
not quite sure how that passed quality control, but
that's never fun. I don't know. That
So,
game's way too fast for me.
so Chris, I understand that we're going to do a pinball Sunday.
Yes. So I'm tired of waiting on the IFPA. I want to play some pinball with my friends again, or at least the people who, because I got approached, as you might guess, many times about doing pinball events. I don't necessarily. So the IFPA has taken kind of a half measure, which is their challenge rankings, and then they appear to be done for the year, I guess. Um, So you can have one-on-one challenges that they'll rank, but they aren't related to the normal rankings of IFPA. Not that that's the be all end all. It's just I was kind of waiting for their queue before I started back up with doing tournaments. Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon, I guess, because they consider it done. I don't know. That seems very weird to me, but that's their business. So since they have started, and yet it doesn't include tournaments like Pinball Monday. I wanted I want to have pinball events for the people who are comfortable with it and try and like do what I can to make it safe and distant and everything. So yes, September 27th. We had to move it to a Sunday because free play can't be open during the week at Arlington. Arlington clearly has to be the location because of the sheer amount of tables it has. Now that being said, I don't feel comfortable like getting everybody close together to do it. We do three strikes, like that's what we have been doing. I'm super comfortable with that. I know most of our players are comfortable with it, so I want to keep that format. I know, David, you have your thoughts, and I want to hear your thoughts because I do like innovation, but like pinball, I'm doing a three strikes, and I'm taking every other machine out of it. So like every other machine will be in play. Yeah, Andy's maintaining them. So every other machine will be out of play for the entirety of the night. Now, it'll still be open to the public, so it's possible that someone could be playing next to you. It's possible that one of the players could be playing next to you, but I don't I don't want to assign people tables right next to each other. And in fact, I don't even want to make that a possibility. I think our numbers will be such that that won't be a problem at all. I think on the most busy of Pinball Mondays, Arlington has so many tables that it wouldn't be a problem turning out every other machine in the tournament. So what do you guys think? I guess let me start with Amber since she has trouble getting her voice in there sometimes.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, I think Arlington obviously is ideal as far as space goes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, Arlington is where we've always done it anyway, so for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I
Are
wouldn't.
you interested in coming back out to another tournament? Or you guys still hold up? Like,
Oh, oh no. Yeah, I mean, we're interested to getting out. I mean, I'm interested in getting out. I'm pretty sure Brennan feels the same way. Um, but yeah, I mean, it'll be nice to just I don't know, look over and see the person that that you played, Pinball Monday with you know, for the past 6 months or whatever. Not 6 months, but like way back when.
yeah, I won't be able to put it on the IFPA site because they still are down. So,
I mean, that's not a big, for me, that's not a big deal. I mean, for me, it's always been about coming out and seeing friends and seeing familiar faces and playing with people I love.
mhm.
And it's just a good community.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, that's honestly what I miss. I miss that so much.
yeah,
So, I mean, to have a pinball tournament with familiar faces would be just, it would make my day. That's just me, but
that,
And honestly, we don't have that many people that are the super competitive top players in the area that come play
exactly,
at Pinball Monday.
exactly.
We
yeah, I
have,
would say like three outside of this
3 or 4.
chat.
I think the majority of us do it for fun, which is I think
Right.
good.
so
I
right,
feel
so
like
that's
I
yeah,
don't
it's
think we
fun.
would have
It's
too
just
many
it's going
complaints.
to be fun and just playing and
Right. As long as that expectation is made, is at the forefront, because I doubt we'd have anybody show up and throw a fit about it. But yeah, just so everybody knows, this is just for fun. Your ranking is not going to be affected or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about just getting together, playing pinball. This is just for fun. Then I don't think we'd have any issues, and I don't think we have anybody that takes it that seriously. Although there are
and if
certainly some
someone does
people
take
who
it
do
that
that.
seriously and they don't know that it's not
Right, then they're out of
sanctioned
the
and
loop.
for points, then you have no business arguing.
Right.
That's a good point. Like it's just down. Like if you're paying attention to your ranking, you'll know that the rankings aren't happening this year.
Yeah.
Or we could just, I don't know, make an announcement prior to everything going, saying, hey, just so you know.
Yeah, I'll make it clear.
I mean,
Right. Even though it's not counted and there's no IFPA ranking, we could still do side wagering, right?
No gambling at free play. So the side has to be outside of the facilities of free play.
It wouldn't be
just out in the parking lot. I'll meet you guys out there. It's $5 a pop.
it wouldn't be a Pinballers episode if David had to be warned about trying to invite gambling into a pinball competition.
I remember the first time that I saw people playing pinball for money is they would take each would take $1. You put the $2 together and you put it in the coin slot, and the winner took the money. It was like when I saw that, I was like, "What's going on? What are they doing?" It's like, "Oh, they're playing dollar games of pinball." Okay.
That's such a weird concept to me. I every once in a while somebody comes to me and wants to gamble on video games of some sort. Pinball. Somebody's offered to gamble on pinball with me before, and that's just such a foreign concept to me. I don't have any desire to. It always feels weird when someone asks me. It's even weirder when they don't take no for an answer.
Never spoke to me particularly. It's just never crossed my mind.
No.
I do
Mine
a
either.
bit of gambling sports wise and just side bets and just goofing around with my friends or brother or whatever. But for some reason that never really occurred to me to gamble on a pinball game just because it would I don't know. To me it would feel worse to lose than it would feel good to win. So I'm like, I don't even know, because even if I win, I'm not really winning, especially if it's a couple bucks. I'm like, screw that.
I'm a prideful player. So the stakes don't really get higher for me because like that's why I'm playing. When I win a cash prize, that's cool. I deposit that. When I win the trophy, I can tell you what it feels like to hold the giant pinball Sunday pinball the trophy that we have. Like I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to get that picture made of giving the camera that I'm usually using to take Brennan's picture. And
God.
And have somebody else take that picture. I can remember it's such a good feeling to have a goal like that, accomplish it. Or even not have a goal, just go out to Pinball Monday or Sunday to have a good time. And then at the end, you're getting handed the trophy like this is the greatest day. Like that's always going to be everything to me. And gambling just doesn't ever mean anything to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love gambling. Don't get me wrong, but
right, unless I understand gambling for gambling's sake too. Like you're just going to play blackjack because you're going to play blackjack, and that's what you're doing. But I'm going to play pinball.
Right, but I mean, if I could just hold that giant pinball up just one Monday or Sunday or whatever, that would mean more than anything.
I mean, there. Look at my picture. I'm holding that little trophy. Look at that. I'm cheesing. I'm feeling good. I won no money that night. All I got was a giant ego boost. And you can't deposit that.
The reigning.
That's right. The reigning and pending, because we're in a holding pattern. I guess we've had. How long did we do? We went a full year cycle with Pinball Monday, right?
Believe so.
And then a little change too. I think we went at least a year.
I'm pretty sure.
I still maintain, and I don't think I missed a single one. I still maintain the one of the coolest moments I saw was Shannon winning. That was
100%.
Best
the coolest
ever. I loved it so much.
Because and she gets down on herself sometimes, and she's gotten so much better as a player. And you could tell, I don't think she expected to be there at the end, much less win it. And then she does win it, and it was such like almost like a light bulb, like, oh my god, like I'm actually like a good pinball player. I actually am good enough to like win tournaments against other
It
good
was
pinball players.
it was nice also to see her from like the beginning, like knowing her from the beginning to where she started out and see that progression of how much better she got. And I mean, she really, really, really practiced and would put the hours in to do what she had to do, and she freaking won it, which was awesome.
Yeah, I would see her grinding away at Free Play Richardson just
Yeah.
multiple days out of the week. I would get there at 5:30 or something, and she had arrived right at open and had been playing TNA the entire time and had her earplugs in, and that was it.
Always with a big tall
Just
boy in hand, just
yes,
grinding it out.
just amazing. I yeah, that was cool. So cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anytime we had a guest from out of town, that was a fun
Yep.
experience. When Christopher Heskett came, the
Yeah, I know
kid,
you're talking
and
about.
I forget his dad's name, who drives him from the Houston area.
I forget it too, unfortunately. I
Oh
believe I'm
yeah,
friends
yeah,
with him on
yeah.
Facebook, but yeah,
But yeah,
man,
just to
that kid's
know,
nuts. He
uh,
is so good.
yeah, a phenomenal player under 13, not even a teenager, and his dad would drive out from Houston. Like, that's pretty awesome, and that always took me aback.
Eric Heskett, is that it?
Yes, I think you're
Yeah,
right
they
there.
were ridiculously good. They were so good.
My daughter played in last year's pin golf and made the comment, it's like, oh, can't believe I got beat by a 7-year-old. She was 8.
Yeah.
That's the part I love about pinball too, and I sort of spoke to this earlier about just kind of the randomness of it and how I view that as a good thing and not a bad thing. It's Chris, you run the tournaments on Sundays. It's on Sundays, right? For the kids, for the younger people.
Yes, I haven't been able to since the pandemic, but yes.
Right. But that was obviously that was a thing, and that to me, and I'm sure that there are exceptions to this rule, but it seems like a lot harder for somebody who is not an adult to beat an adult at a fighting game like that if they both have the same amount of experience, just in terms of the resources they have access to, the freedom of information they're able to look up, and people their age to play against that are equally as good as them, things like that. Whereas as pinball, you're not playing against the person across the candy cab from you. You're playing against the table or yourself. And so I've lost to 12-year-olds, I've lost to 10-year-olds, and I've won multiple tournaments too. And it's like that could easily happen, on any given day. It just you put in the work, you put in the time, you learn the table, you sort of hone your reflexes a bit, you learn some flipper techniques, and anything can happen. It's so cool to see, to make it further in the tournament, make it further, and you see this kid hovering around, and half the time I just assume somebody brought their kid with them to hang out and play pinball, and it's like, oh wait, this kid's in the tournament, I'm about to play him. That's a nervous feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, do I have to?
Probably one of the highlights in that pin golf event last year was when it was Pilar was 7, and then there was another kid that was 6, and they were on an older EM machine against a guy from Oklahoma who's pretty good. And we jokingly made the comment, is like, all right, girls, you need to beat this guy from Oklahoma. And they did. They both beat him.
That's always so cool too, because they're kids and they just are so like no filters, completely excited beside themselves, and half the time they don't even really get it either. They're so cool and calm about it, like, yeah, I beat them. Yeah, I beat people 3 times my age all the time. Whatever. Who's next?
That's fantastic. I guess it's you versus the spinning little metal ball.
Pretty much.
Also versus those other players, but like that spinning metal ball can defeat you or be generous to you just as much as the player beside you can have a really good game.
They have such a different like viewpoint on the table too. You know, you talk about we've played pinball arcade and FX or whatever, and you have these different camera settings. It's like they're playing on that one camera setting that nobody plays on, where it's like
Oh, yeah,
down
under
on
it.
like the apron of the table, where it's like you're looking straight up the table. I don't understand how they play like that because I've tried to like squat down and play and like get sort of on the level where like your eyes barely come up over the table. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's definitely a different perspective for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way,
There's a-
Shannon won that tournament with one eye. I forgot to mention that.
Right. That's always
Which
a
I've
tricky
She
part.
did.
which I've also
did.
tried to do, and it is so hard.
That's the one thing that like is that takes me aback more than anything else about that is no depth perception, because I do the more I play pinball, the more I know which way the ball is spinning and how it's moving, and my depth perception absolutely plays a role in it, and she has none. And she beat us all anyway. It's incredible.
Nuts.
Yeah, I think we should have a Shannon tournament.
Where we
And
all wear
should
eye
all
patches?
wear eye patches.
She would smoke everybody. What's
Oh,
even the
She
point?
would smoke everyone.
Yeah, we'd have to give her like the Karate Kid 3 rules since she already won
Yeah,
that.
it
She
would
just
be
meets you in the
absurd.
finals.
It's too easy.
Mhm.
Damn.
Pinball like a pirate tournament or something like that.
I
A
like it.
Pirate tournament. I like it. I do.
Man,
I guess
I
we
would
have
not
room
do
to
well.
play.
We're gonna have
Yes,
to. We're gonna have to practice that one, guys.
So how is this? So you're taking out every other table.
hmm
Do you know? Because obviously there's going to be some good tables that will be taken out, some bad tables that will be taken out. Have you thought about how you're going to do that?
The first time, yes. I am bowing to the pressure. I really don't want to break Camber's heart again. I'll just pick Attack from Mars. That one's out, and the one next to it is in, and then every other one.
And then
So
you just go down the row. All right.
If Andrew
enough.
wants to stack it in his favor, just know that I'll take Attack out, and then the one right next to it is in, and then every other one.
I won't cry too hard about that.
I mean, it's arbitrary. It's this one or that one. So.
It's got to be arbitrary, right?
hmm
Fair enough.
Yeah, unless Andrew is moving around the tables and stacking it in his favor, in which case it wouldn't be arbitrary. But that's not me.
So is this something that we?
There you go. Then Funhouse is in.
Ta-da! I like that. I'll play Funhouse. We have not, as far as I'm concerned, that's never been in a tournament. So cool. So is this something
He might be
that?
saying it's down, but either way.
Yeah. Well, that would be unfortunate. But it also would
Either
surprise me.
way, like it'll still be that'll be the way it is.
Is this something we plan on doing on a monthly basis, or?
I hope so.
Or what?
Yeah, I mean it depends on the showing. Like if we have a good 15 players, then that sounds worthwhile to me, right? If we have a more like traditional Pinball Monday type showing, then like yes, of course. Like there's a too low number if it's just me,
Sure.
but I don't see that happening. I do think like 15 is more like a reasonable.
That'd be a
goal.
great number if we could hit
Yeah.
that and stay close to
Yeah,
that.
I think that we need to spread the word. I mean,
hmm
for sure.
I do think there is a too big number. I'm not capping the tournaments. I mean, I'm sure something the day of can catch my. I've never, like in this entire year, I've never had anything remotely close to like cap or anything like that where I was just like, oh man, we need
Right.
to shut this thing down. There is a
I don't
number,
feel
and when I look around and I'm like, whoa, this is too much, because I'm not trying to be unsafe.
Right.
I had that's a different world. Like we live in 2020 where that's the thing when it comes to like the one COVID thing that it gets me is like the 50% or the 25% occupancy. It never comes close to that anywhere. Like I
No.
go out in the public and I am alone. I had my hair cut yesterday. I was the only person in the entire place. And, well, I suppose there was the one hairstylist that was cutting my hair. And it was one hairstylist because all the other ones had been sent home because they have no customers. Like, that's the way
I
it
did
is
that
everywhere.
on Saturday, and there was one other person there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not.
Same.
That's a different world, a different problem. There would be a number, and I can tell you what I would do, though, if we did hit such an absurd number where it was too popular, which is I would go back to my boss and say, look, we did Pinball Sunday, and like 50 people showed up. And that means we need to open Arlington for Monday because we need to get it away from the public.
Right.
And that's how that would go down.
Gosh, that's hard to.
So feel free to show up in
figure out.
tons of numbers because I'll find a way to make it benefit free play and also be safe down the line.
What if I've not been to Arlington since the crap hit the fan.
Mhm.
How has, I understand, obviously we closed Denton, Arlington and Fort Worth went to weekends only.
Mm-hmm.
How has all of that been going in terms of
How's
people
business?
coming in and out?
Those
Yeah,
mean?
as far, yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, obviously it's not going to be great, but in terms of after the weekend only shift, has that helped? Things been fairly steady?
I don't particularly know. I get an odd viewpoint of it. Andrew would know. Andy Nubbs in the chat. What was if Andy's out there still? If Andrew's out there still, what was Saturday like for you? Because I am not there on Saturdays consistently. I am consistently at Free Play Arlington on Fridays, and I can say I would wish there were more people there on a normal Friday.
Mm-hmm.
A few times there's been a bit of a blowout where Adam, the bartender, has opened a tab and just said, $200 at the bar is just open, and like I'm paying for that out of my own tips, right? And then
Badass.
the community has been, he'll contact me, and then I'll contact Mike. Mike will volunteer his time as a DJ, and word will get out. I'll help word get out, and it's a good night. It's just a good night, but that's
It's very cool.
That's very cool. That's also more than Adam needs to be doing.
Obviously.
And that kind of makes me cringe to know that he's doing that. But if he is doing that, I very, very much want to support him and make sure he's not wasting it.
Good dude.
So some of those days,
Yeah.
those Fridays when he does that are pretty kicking, actually.
Good.
But just like the normal day, I wish there were more. I really do. Because Fort Worth is hopping. Like, I go to Fort Worth on Saturdays. Okay, so Andy said it's good on Saturday and Sunday. So Friday was slow for me as well. I went there, and I am there every Friday as part of the summer finale thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just saw the slow part. But he says it's good on Saturday, and I can tell you Fort Worth is doing just fine on a Saturday.
Good. That's the
That's-
one, I've spent
that's
the
good to
least
hear.
amount of time
Mhm.
there by far, so I have no finger on the pulse in terms of what their, especially now, what their door numbers look like and attendance, but that's good to hear.
It's still fractions of what it used to be. That's for sure. So
I'm sure that's the case, yeah.
yeah, but I don't think we do live in this world right now, right here, right now. So I don't think you can compare it to 2019 and be at all fair.
When we were at Richardson
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, it was pretty nice. I mean, it's obviously not what it was going to be, pre all this. That goes without saying. But I was, from a consumer standpoint, from someone who spent a lot of time there, I was pretty happy with the turnout. There's a lot of people, and all the candy cabs were full, and most of the pens were getting played, and so it was not bad.
Yeah, we are going into the slow season. So this is sort of the moment of truth for us. Can we survive
Right.
this period, and then will a vaccine come out? So we'll have to survive a very, very rough period. So if you want to come out and support, definitely do during the fall. like I said, traditionally the slow period. I'm hoping what happens is like people just trickle out and it's not quite as slow as it normally is in comparison to the summer, where the people that come out kind of come out, because that's kind of how it has been this summer. It hasn't been a big kaboom at all. It's just been, more people have come out. I hope that trickle continues and gets us through. And then if there's not a vaccine by the end of the year, then I don't know what to say to you. We're going to have a whole lot more problems that are more global than arcade at that point.
Yep, I have no idea what's right on the corner. But
Mm-hmm.
Free Play seems to be adjusting and pivoting at every turn, so
Doing what we can.
yep.
Apparently, I'm showing
Yeah.
movies on the rooftop now. It's weird.
I saw that. That seems like kind of a nice get.
Yeah,
We were just
yeah.
talking about Tron, a few episodes ago, so.
Yeah, that's on the we're talking about September 20th, Sunday. We're gonna show Tron. We have we have the license to show it on the rooftop of Free Play Fort Worth legally.
Nice.
By the
Very
way,
cool.
what does that process look like? Were you privy to that at all?
I know it involves being owned by a lawyer and him reaching out to the licensing company and
I'm
paying
sure that doesn't hurt.
and paying a significant fee, which is I would guess it's probably less than normal. I don't know. I wonder what it is compared to like 2018. That involves a negotiation and all kinds of stuff. But fortunately, Corey has the authority to do it as representative of Free Play, and he knows his budget because he is the budget, and he has the legal backing to know what to do as well. But yeah, it involves actually reaching out to the licensing program and getting it. I don't want to spoil too much, but he's reached out about 5 different movies. I can tell you, to anybody listening to this, we are having a beta test for this on Thursday, September 17th, with the movie Street Fighter the Movie. That'll be on the rooftop of Fort Worth, closed. So private to you hearing this, right? Like, we could trick it out word of mouth, but like,
Right.
our mouths can only get the word out so much. So
Street Fighter the movie.
Street Fighter the Movie, and then
I mean, if you
afterwards-
advertised that, oh my God, it would just be overflowing.
Oh, of
'Cause,
course,
I mean,
of
that is
course.
the masterpiece of cinema. So,
right, we'd have to shut down like literally that entire.
yeah, the block would be.
Yeah, it'd be like the fireworks again. We just have to lock it down. No public allowed. Afterwards, we're gonna do a Street Fighter the Movie, the game, and a maybe not quite as good of a quality game as it is a quality movie on the Sega Saturn. and
It's hard to live up to that.
Yeah, but somehow it does live down there. Yeah,
Chris, I got an idea I've
That's
been
cool.
throwing around in my head.
please.
I have a friend who has a band that would be very appropriate to play in an environment like Free Play.
Hmm.
Would that be possible for a band to play at Fort Worth?
I need to. You should send me an email, and it's chris@freeplayinc.com.
Okay.
With sort of that. Put that idea out there and in there.
Okay.
I need to go to Corey about it because I've had people reach out about things like that before, specifically when it comes to bands. They're all out of everything. Like, and I've had, like, they've been volunteering, right? Like don't pay me. I know you can't pay me. I really just want to show. Also, like, the same thing applies to everybody. Comedians have reached out. So I've definitely been sought out regarding this. So I need to go to Corey and see if he's willing to do it. So we have 5 movies kind of lined up. One of which is Street Fighter the Movie. We bought the license to that as well, or the license to show it one time. So, that's its thing. And then once those are done, maybe there's room to do something else. It depends on how well those are received as well. So, possibility. I will definitely reach out to Corey about it, though. And having that paper trail or that email trail will help me.
Yeah, so just laying the groundwork, I'll put this in the email as well. Because we are thinking ahead that there will be a vaccine and things will be back to normal. Next May, I will be renting out Free Play Fort Worth on I think a Friday night for a birthday party, and I want this band to play at my birthday party. So
Interesting.
I'll put that all in and everyone that's in the community.
What was that last part?
Everybody in the world that is part of the free play community is invited. But yeah, I want to rent out for you.
That's awesome.
Right on.
Well, hope to be able to accommodate you. Yeah, send me that email for sure. We only have a few minutes left. Did you want to talk Avengers?
I haven't.
We might just save it, to be honest, because it's a full-on new release. It's not a reboot of the old Avengers that they did. It looks really cool in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's another Elwyn game, so Jurassic Park, Iron Maiden, both
So
of
it's one of
which
the
were
good ones.
well received. Yes, so it looks to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a comic book game that I don't usually give a crap about. I'm not a big comic book guy, but for some reason I like those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer to save it just because I think this deserves a deep dive.
All right.
But yeah,
So
it's there.
so we'll talk Avengers. Is it Infinity Quest?
Infinity Quest,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So we'll talk that the
I'll
next time
watch
we get
videos.
together. What's that?
I'll watch videos.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Deadflip did the. It was just yesterday that they did the. He was at the Stern whatever warehouse factory, I don't know, and did the full deep dive into it with Keith and everybody else. So yeah, there's video out there of it now. Lots of good pictures. It looks really cool. So yeah, that should be exciting.
Awesome. Yes, I will want to wash the taste of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball out of my mouth. So good.
Oh, all right. We'll talk. We may visit that as well because I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. Let's do this again in 2 weeks. As I said, September 17th, which is 1 week from today, we're going to be doing Street Fighter the movie on the rooftop of Fort Worth. That will have me a little bit busy.
Right.
Not unable to do pinballers. So in 2 weeks, let's meet back here.
Perfect.
Already.
Thank you guys so much.
Hey,
Sounds great.
thank y'all.
Thank you.
I gotta run. Go Stars. Have a happy football. We'll talk to y'all in a couple weeks.
Cool. And for those watching, we're going to go off the air for 1 hour and then come back with the live matching game with Brennan. Have you heard who's in this? Did he already leave? We have Rob Paulson, who is the voice of Raphael, Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hold on. I'll tell him. Did
He's
you
the-
already get off?
He's the voice of Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. He was in. We went over the list, and we couldn't go over the complete list here because it's ridiculous. Let's see. He did voices for Ninja Turtles, Animaniacs, Darkwing Duck, Dexter's Lab, DuckTales, Gargoyles, G.I. Joe, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Jim, Johnny Bravo, Justice League, The Jetsons. Yes, The Jetsons. Land Before Time, Thundercats, Teen Titans, Tasmania, Sonic the Hedgehog, Samurai Jack, Rick and Morty, New Kids on the Block, of course. That's the biggest one. And on and on and on and on, like hundreds of credits. He's one of the biggest voice actors of all time.
That's
Rob
awesome.
Paulson is going to be one of our celebrity guests for the live matching game in 1 hour. So that's why we're staying on time. And also, it's why we're out of here. I'll go off the air, but we'll be back on the air, I promise you, right at 8 o'clock. So don't go anywhere. And we're gonna raid somewhere just to for the sake of doing it. But we'll see you back here at 8 o'clock.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for all you do. We
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Love you guys. See you later.
Love ya. Bye.
Bye. And can't raid that channel. Don't necessarily want to go to. I wonder what it would be like to have a producer. I want to be a producer for one of these shows at one point. Looks like Beating Dreams is going. Nah, I'm not going there. Cuddlecore is going at it. You guys watch Cuddlecore for a bit, and then we'll be back. You know what? I changed my mind. We will go Beating Dreams' way. I hope she stays on the air. Beating Dreams. She'll be doing some jewelry, I'm sure. And we'll be back.